Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. An Indiana man has been using his podcast to find answers in a 33-year-old cold case hundreds of miles away, which includes a Kentucky connection. I'm joined now by Skype to talk with Shane Waters, the man behind the Out of the Shadows podcast. Now, Shane, this is a true crime podcast about the red-headed killer, right? And this is maybe takes place in Tennessee and Kentucky, but especially when we're talking about the Commonwealth, we're talking about Barbourville down in Knox County. Talk me through what led you to doing this podcast in the first place.
Sure. So the collective of the murders, they're called the Redhead Murder Victims. Out of all of the victims during the podcast, we narrowed it down to 6 victims who we feel are the victims of a single serial killer. Eventually, throughout the podcast, we did name him with the help of a high school sociology class out of Tennessee, as well as an FBI profiler. We called him the Bible Belt Strangler. This whole process started because another podcaster friend of mine, Justin Rimmel, from the Mysterious Circumstances podcast, knew that I was looking for a case that I could cover in a series. So he suggested the Redhead murders, knowing that there wasn't a lot of information, thinking that I would be able to try to shed some light or share the story to a large audience.
Now, when we're talking about these victims and you say there's still so many unidentified, and that's after 30 plus years because a lot of them were either prostitutes or estranged from their families, and your premise is that the killer preyed upon that so that there wouldn't be as many people out looking for him, that he was probably a truck driver and probably went through the Corbin, Barbourville area in Kentucky. Now, the I guess unique part about the Barbourville case is that the town actually held a funeral for this woman all those years ago.
Yes, very unique to that specific Jane Doe that we did not see in any of the others. The entire town took it upon themselves to provide her with a funeral, to provide her with a burial plot, to provide her with a tombstone. Going there, I've been there multiple times now to Barbourville, and the people, even today, the people that remember it say it was something that touched them because although they didn't know who she was, they knew that she deserved to be cared for, that someone out there had to have loved her. And even if they didn't, the town took it upon themselves because they didn't want that to happen to their loved one.
Well, Shane Waters, thank you so much. I know true crime podcasting has really become a medium that is taking off. So kudos to you for trying to help shed some light on this decades-old crime, especially for the murder victim in Kentucky. So thank you, Shane Waters. Out of the Shadows is the name of the podcast. We appreciate you being here.